Even though India is not a part of the Iran-Israel conflict, however, there is a certain connect emerging. What happens with regard to the oil shock at a juncture when Iran is threatening with regard to the Strait of Hormuz to be closed down? What happens to India's energy supplies? India is rushing to cushion itself from the oil shock, which means that we have been, while, remember, the options have been diversified already, but India is likely to buy more oil from Russia than Gulf. Alternate energy resources are being looked at to beat volatility. The crude prices are inching up. It's the West Asia war. Hardeep Puri has already put out a statement, and because Iran is planning to, already has said, but in practice is likely to now close down the Hormuz Strait, and India will then have to turn to other countries as well. Which other countries could that be? Russia, United States of America for crude supply, and other diverse options as well. Minister Hardeep Puri, realizing that there are concerns emerging, has already put out a statement, and the minister has added here about what is being done with this regard. Pranay Upadhyay joins me for the latest on that. Pranay, I bring you in here because I understand that Minister, about yesterday evening itself, trying to put in perspective, why do you think the minister has put out the statement, and what are the options? If the Hormuz Strait closes down, what is the impact on India? How do we ensure we are not affected?
Pooja, that this is the energy corridor for the world. 80% of the energy supply from this region goes to Asian markets, especially China, India, Japan, South Korea. These are the major buyers of oil from this region, which is the West Asia region, which supplies almost 20 million barrel of oil per day. And India's per day consumption is 5.5 million, and out of which around 1.5 to 2 million barrel per day comes from this region. So clearly India has concern, though India has diversified its oil basket, and now India is primarily buying from Russia, from United States, from Nigeria, and some other markets as well. But a significant amount of oil still comes from countries like Iraq and Saudi Arabia, and that's why we have our concern. If Iran decides to have a naval blockade in Strait of Hormuz, we do not know whether Iran would be able to implement this disruption, this naval blockade or not, because this has its own challenges. But if Iran decides to implement that naval blockade, then there will be a great disruption, not even in terms of the energy supply, but also in terms of the container shipment and in the export shipments. So this is a concern, and that's why the Petroleum Minister Hardeep Puri has put out a statement, allaying the apprehension. People might be having these apprehension that what will happen, and we could see the price fluctuation in terms of the crude oil prices in the oil market.
I want to just quickly quote what he has said. We are closely monitoring the evolving geopolitical situation, and since the past 2 weeks, we have diversified our supplies already. In the past few years, a large volume of our supplies do not come through the Strait of Hormuz now, is what Minister Puri has said. So possibly we have options already. Government is looking at it, and it's a good reassuring statement because it's not just about the market, but possibly can impact the daily life of Indians as well. Pranay, thank you very much for now, because following the strikes on the nuke sites in Iran, all eyes will now be on how Iran responds.